have made more than 26 full-length documentary films, and none of them have reached more people than the Obama deception. We've got a deal running for another week where you get a copy of this expanded film that shatters the left-right paradigm and shows how both parties at the top are controlled by these offshore banks, and get a copy of Jesse Ventura's American Conspiracies, absolutely free in hardcover, $24.95 value free. So the DVD and the book, $19.95, and your purchase makes this broadcast and what we do here possible. Now, if you just joined us, I wasn't joking about that. Bloomberg's had a series of reports where Prudential and others, major insurance companies, admitted they made a secret deal in 1999 with Veterans Affairs to basically keep dead veterans' benefits. And many experts have called it criminal, but the government says, well, we changed the language. We don't tell the vets when they sign up in the military that that's in the fine print. So because they didn't read the print, we're going to keep their money. I mean, that'll just give you an idea. There it is. A Veterans Agency made secret deal over benefits. U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs failed to inform 6 million soldiers and their families of an agreement enabling Prudential Financial, Inc. to withhold lump sum payments of life insurance benefits to survivors of fallen service members, according to records made public through a Freedom of Information Act request. And what they do is, without giving them the choice, is they pay them a fraction of the supposed interest on it. In some cases, they just keep it. So you can read those reports for yourself. So you pay into these things and you get nothing. Okay, let's go back to your calls as promised. And coming up, I'm going to play that John P. Holdren clip about dismantling our industries by design. You didn't think NAFTA and GATT were an accident. Let's talk to Joe in Maryland, then Julian, Scanner, Nate, John, and others. Joe, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex. Thanks for taking my call. First, I wanted to say thanks for not selling out.
Well, I mean, selling out is a lie. Even if you think you sell out and join the New World Order, you're destroying yourself and your own family. You can't make a deal with the devil. Anything else, Joe?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, your phone was cutting out. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I had a couple questions regarding history and stuff, since you're a history buff. Hey, how about a Ron Paul DVD? Like, you know how you got the Obama deception and stuff? How about a pro Ron Paul? He's the real deal. Here's the evidence how we know he's the real deal. How about something like that so we can get him in the White House in 2012 before we completely go into 100%?
I suspended the 2-year production of my eugenics film. It's coming out in the middle of next year to late this year or early next year, release a film about the political paradigm, who Ron Paul is, who the fake Tea Party people are, trying to make it a counterfeit. So it's a great idea. We're actually on it.
Awesome. And hey, so the couple of questions I had for you, did we land on the moon, and was there a Bush Senior JFK assassination connection?
Okay. All the evidence I have is that the technology is even more advanced than what they show. And yes, we did go to the moon, but they did fake a few things because they didn't want the general public to see the real technology. And, of course, you know, the B-2 stealth bomber was 20-plus years old when they rolled it out in 1987. And I know people who worked on the front line of mission control. I know the guy that ran the RCA cameras on the moon, Raymond Teague, and he's the real deal. And I've talked to Dr. Bob Bowman, the former head of the Star Wars program, and he says, well, it's classified, but you're right on target with... They've got a semi-fake space program, not because they don't have the technology, but because they don't let the public know what they've really got. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. How about because there's a memo out on the internet. I don't know if it's fake or not, but...
No, there's a real memo that George Herbert Walker Bush was in the CIA and was in Texas, and he was photographed in Dealey Plaza. And, of course, they claim he would just join the CIA in the 70s to be the director out of nowhere. But, of course, he went to Skull and Bones at Yale that founded the CIA. That's on record. And, of course, he was CIA. I appreciate your call. And the evidence is involved. Let's go to Julian in Texas. Julian, you're on the air.
Hello, Alex, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I wanted to talk about the Skull and Bones and how it relates to our current currency in the newly redesigned like $5 through $100 bills.
Well, there's all sorts of occultic numerology and garbage all over our money.
Yeah, but are you aware of the letter E and how it, when you turn on its side, on some fonts it looks like the Triforce? Like, are you aware of that? The power, courage, and justice that they believe in?
Yes.
And how when you fold the $20 bill in half, the top, it has 9. When you separate it into 4 sections, it has 9, and then the bottom's 1, and on the back is 1.
Yeah, well, let me be clear, Julian. The globalists are obsessed with numerology and the occult. They believe in it. I don't believe in it. But for listeners, I'm not saying I believe in this. It's like, do you believe in a religion that pygmies have in Central Africa, in the Congo? No. But do they practice worshiping rocks and trees? Yes. And yes, I've snuck into Bohemian Grove. I've covered ABC News, got footage of Skull and Bones. They made The Good Shepherd, directed by Robert De Niro, that's very historical about Skull and Bones, founding CIA, devil worship. And it's all real. And the Republican leadership predominantly has gay orgies at Bohemian Grove. That's even in Vanity Fair. One of their guys finally snuck in 2 years ago. Got fired over it, but did witness it. And what you think is going on is not what's happening. But, I mean, who else but Satanists would let DynCorp and Halliburton run white slavery rings, and it's put in the Chicago Tribune and nobody gets in trouble? It's a bunch of hedonistic Satan worshipers that run everything.
Yeah, it is. And
yeah, my film, Dark Secrets Inside Bohemian Grove, and The Order of Death, it's 2 films on 1 DVD, covers it all. But go ahead.
Yeah, in like you see the folding paper money, like foldingmoney.com, but where it shows like that the Twin Towers were hit and smoke, and then
it shows the whole progression. It shows them not being hit, then crumbling. I appreciate your call. Yeah. Literally scores of news ads, TV shows. Fox TV 6 months before released a Lone Gunman episode, a spinoff of the X-Files, where the government hijacks a jumbo jet, by remote control to fly it in the World Trade Center to declare martial law and attack Afghanistan. But the rest of the government stands down because the government runs a drill of it being a drill, and then exactly that happened on 9/11. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on because it's their religion. It's called lesser magic. They have to do the ritual first in front of you in a smaller way, like a model of it. They believe to successfully carry it out. It's also kind of like all this stuff is superstition, but it goes back to the Greeks and every other culture, the Japanese, the Aztecs. They all believed in vampires. I don't. But a vampire is a symbol of a psychopathic guild or a club of psychos who go out at night and kill people. And vampires have to come to your business or house, make a deal with you, and trick you to invite them in once so they can come in again. And so that's why they admit their world government to you, and then the other side of their mouth say it doesn't exist. And that's why they put all their symbols out about how they're killing us and tell us what they're doing to their movies. They even believe that that's the job I'm fulfilling. They believe you're too weak and won't stand up to them. I believe you're strong and will stand up to them. It is Sunday, the 19th day of September, 2010. I want to continue with Scanner, Nate, John, Tom, Darren, and Emmanuel. That'll be it for calls, though. We'll get to at least those next 6. Sorry to others, but I can get to those. In the first hour, I predominantly covered this report, hot off the presses today, September 19th, at prisonplanet.com and Infowars.com. Globalists push world transaction tax at UN summit. Very important to get this out to everybody. And they admit the new global currency they want to set up and tax you to fund. And it's privately owned and run. So now they're getting rid of any pretenses of there even being a government you run or it being public. It's totally private. But it uses government power to rob you. Now, John P. Holdren, I talk a lot about this, but we've learned he's written 4 books. Well, you can count one of them as 5, and a whole bunch of pamphlets. He's the White House science czar. He wrote Eco-Science, Population, Resources, and Environment, calling for world government, planetary police state, forced drugging, forced sterilization, and the water supply. Bisphenol A, all of it. And the UN, all these people say global government's about destroying the economy so they can consolidate power and save the earth from overpopulation. And a lot of yuppies go, yeah, there are too many people. Well, when you lose your job or get your pay cut, remember, you wanted all this. Or when your 27-year-old wife can't get pregnant, you don't know why. Well, so there's too many people. So you think you're an elitist. You're not. You're being targeted by this. You understand that? But here's a Cyber News Service report. And he's given a bunch of interviews lately, admitting they've been secretly geoengineering the atmosphere to save us from global warming, admitting that they want to use the free market to, quote, de-develop the United States. Pay you. Like, put taxes on you if they don't like your business, have neutral taxes if they're neutral, or give you tax incentives or government money if they like it, i.e. if you're Al Gore and own more than a dozen different green jobs companies. So it's their own little private mafia organization where they decide if you can have a job. They decide if you can have an industry. Remember Obama with the GM bankruptcy? And it came out on the news that if you were a Democratic contributor and owned some 75-plus-year-old, multi-million-dollar-a-year car dealership, you were left alone. But if you were somebody who was neutral or a Republican, they would take your dealership and sell it without giving you money or just shut it down. I mean, these people are bald-faced mafia crooks. But here's the headline. White House science czar says he would use free market to de-develop the United States. Now, remember, Bush was supporting the carbon tax in his last year. You see TV ads with Newt Gingrich and Nancy Pelosi supporting it. You see Pat Robertson along with Al Sharpton with TV ads supporting it. The Republican leadership supports this. Now, there are a lot of good Republican candidates or some members of the House that don't support it, like Boehner or Paul. Yes, we need to get more of those people in. A lot of Democrats are coming out saying get rid of all the tax increases that are set to go into effect because they know when you cut taxes, tax receipts go up. So you'd cut taxes to make tax receipts go up because it makes the economy speed up unless you wanted to de-develop. See? The government's not stupid. They know that. People say the government's a bunch of idiots. They're just messing everything up. Yeah, crazy like a fox. That's why the corporate empire that uses America for its muscle runs almost the entire planet. That's why they get away with murder, because they're dumb. They're in control because they're stupid. No, they're in control because they're smart and they're ruthless and people are gullible and are spectators and sit there and suck their thumbs all day. Now, here is a short clip of the interview with John P. Holdren. The whole thing's up at Infowars.com. Here it is.
I want to just ask you, you wrote a massive campaign must be launched to restore high-quality environment in North America and to de-develop the United States in your book, Human Ecology. Could you explain what you meant by de-develop the United States?
Have you guys, what we meant by that was stopping the kinds of activities that are destroying the environment and replacing them with activities that would produce both prosperity and environmental quality. Thanks a lot.
And how do you plan on implementing that?
Through the free market economy.
And you also talked about a world of zero net physical growth. Could you talk about that a little bit?
No,
that was in your World Bank essay.
I have another engagement.
CNSNews.com interviewed Holdren in June of this year, and he said his past work is a, quote, stale topic. I just want to ask you real quick about a lot of your past work.
That's enough. The point is, they're implementing all of this now. And this is the reality. Scanner in Oklahoma, you're on the air. Go ahead.